Hi guys, how you doing? Okay, so I had a student call me, Melinda called me, and she said that she was a little confused about the creative brief. And it got me to thinking, this is a 135 class. There might be a lot of students in this class who have never written a creative brief before. So thank you, Melinda. And here we are, guys. I'm going to go ahead and go over what a creative brief is and the best way to write a creative brief. So as we can see here, let me just go through this first. What is a creative brief? A creative brief is a background summary. Okay, and basically what it is you're summarizing the project. So how do we do that? I made this list for you guys of the 10 most important things to include in a creative brief. Background summary, including who is the product, what is their service, what do they do, what are their strengths and weaknesses, etc. Overview, what is the project about? What are we designing and why? Why do we need this project? What's the opportunity? Drivers, meaning what is our goal for the project? What are we trying to achieve? What is the purpose of our work? And these are all things that you should be writing into your creative brief. I mean, a creative brief should be, a page long or so. Audience, who are we talking to? What do they think of us? And why should they care? Competitors, who is the competition? What are they telling their audience? And what should we be telling our audience? SWOT analysis. SWOT, S-W-O-T. That's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's a technical term. You don't necessarily have to address SWOT in your particular creative brief. Then you talk about tone. How should you communicate? Message. What do you want to say? Visuals. Describe how you plan on developing and designing the visuals that will accompany the project. And then, of course, details and people. Who are reporting to and who is your target audience? Okay, so let's tie that in to the subject of the assignment. So for this task, you're going to remember your cover letter. Let's say you got hired, okay? I called you. I said, hey, I loved your cover letter. I'm interested in having you come to work for the studio. Okay, so you come to the studio. This is your first project. Okay, so what are we going to do? We have got, your first project is myself, the creative director. I'm going to ask you to write a creative brief. First of all, you're going to pick one of three firms. And these are the three firms. These are the backgrounds of the three companies. Okay, you've got, whoops, that is not the right file there. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. There's a tech firm. That's your first company. And you can pick this company and write your creative brief about this company. Or you can write your creative brief about the book publisher or about the wellness center. So what would you do? You would read all of this information here. Okay. And then you would go ahead and compile your information now based on these questions and the creative brief itself. And how do you do that? Well, some of it you're going to have to use your imagination. You're going to have to create some hypothetical scenarios to attribute to your company so that you can successfully create this creative brief. Now, why the creative brief, you ask? Here's the reason. Okay, so you're going to create a logo. See, right here it says they have 3 brand mark projects that are in their house, in-house. That means the studio here, we've got 3 clients, and all 3 clients, we need to create a logo for these 3 clients. So you get, as a junior designer, you get to pick the one that you want to work on. Okay, so you're going to pick one of the 3 firms, you're going to write your creative brief. Here's the submission specifications. So that's self-explanatory. Don't even have to explain that. But I do want to talk about this. And here's just another set of circumstances that are just like this, and you can apply these and just kind of mix them together and get a good idea. What design suggestions might your client's name offer? So are there any potential design solutions based on their name? An example of that would be, let's say you wanted to do Minotaur Publishing Company. So it's MP, so you might consider MP as a monogram for the logo mark for your company. Okay, that's just an example. Does your client's location contribute to a corporate image or an identity? So in other words, if they're located in the desert, you may use a sun for their logo. How does the type of service or product suggest the design solutions? In our publication design, in our book publishing company, you may consider using a book or part of a book or portions or a symbol of a book for their logo. Why might you size your client's business why might the size of your client's business be important to consider? Okay. And then you have these last 2 questions. What is the nature and the character of the target market? And how would this type of business drive your design strategy? So what you want to do is basically, this is a written assignment that says, okay, I've chosen this company and this is how I'm going to address and approach this assignment. And then in your final submission, you're going to submit the cover letter and your creative brief. And then along with, don't forget, you have this artist journal. Now, I just want to jump over to week 2 real quick. And I want to go over to week 2 task overview. And we're going to continue on. We're gonna continue. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry, I'm jumping over to week 2 because I want you guys to see how this assignment will continue into next week and how the progression goes. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is write up your creative brief. So me as a creative director, I will receive this creative brief where you're giving me your ideas in a written format. Okay, then you're going to next week, task 1, you'll do this prepared word list. Then for task 2, you'll go ahead and do your thumbnail sketches, and then task 3, your sketch development, and then finally, task 2 final submission is your final submission for that work. Okay, so as you can see, we're developing this logo mark for these 3 companies. So hopefully that description describes what a creative brief is, how you would write a creative brief, and how you associate the creative brief with the actual assignment so that you can show your creative director or your art director the direction that you envision this project going. Okay, hope that makes sense, guys. If this doesn't clarify things and you need further clarification, please let me know and I'll be glad to do so. But I think this is pretty self-explanatory. I think this is pretty thorough description of what a design brief and what a design brief is and how it applies to this particular assignment. Okay, any questions, guys? Give me a holler. Thanks very much.